In today's video, we're going to learn how to do the 3D parallax effect and turn this boring, dull 2D still image into an awesome and realistic 3D scene like in the movies in Capcut. As always, all the assets used in the video are going to be down in the description for you guys to download and follow along for completely free. And yeah, let's cut the bullshit and get right into the video. Before going into Capcut and editing everything, I'm going to use Photoshop to separate and isolate all the layers and assets. If you don't have Photoshop, it's completely fine too. I think there's a website called Photopea and it's basically a replica of Photoshop. I've never really used it before, so I don't really know if they have all the functions that Photoshop has. But if you don't want to use any Photoshop software, it's also fine too, because all the assets that are used in this video are going to be down in the description. And if you want to create your own 3D effect, it's not that necessary to have Photoshop. It's just more convenient. Once you're in Photoshop, the first thing you want to do is to crop it out. Make sure the ratio is at 16:9. And now I'm going to go to image size. So I'm going to increase the image to make sure the quality is better when you're importing into Capcut. And now I want to cut out the dock here. I'm gonna go to the image, right click it, duplicate layer. I'm gonna use the quick selection tool. Just highlight the entire dock like this, right click it, layer via cut, and now you have it cut out like this. We're gonna use generative fill to fill back up all the gap here. Go to the rectangular selection tool, just highlight the area here, go to generative fill, and then just click generate. And they will give you 3 options, so just find the one that looks the best. I kind of like this one because you can see some of the sunset here, so I'll probably keep this one. And then on the generative fill layer, you want to right click it and convert it to smart object. This is what we have now, and I think that it's a little bit boring. I want to spice it up a little bit because I'm probably going to add a person here, and then I'm going to add something here too. On the right side, I'm probably going to add maybe some birds flying, but then on the left side, I'm thinking like a lake house or something like that. It's going to look good. So I'm going to select an area here with the rectangular tool, go to generative fill. I'm just going to type a tiny simplistic lake house, then press generate, and that's all the options that we have here. I kind of like this one. The reflection is low-key really good. This one, I don't know what the hell is going on with this one. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna keep this. And yeah, all you gotta do is to use the quick selection tool again and just crop out the house. Well, since I've already used Photoshop to generate all the assets, I'm gonna see you guys back in Capcut. Once you're in Capcut, we're gonna create the scene and the background first before adding effects and animating all the layers. Yeah, obviously you wanna drag the background here, and then the bridge and the lake house. I think that the lake house is a little bit too small in comparison to the dock, so I'm gonna increase it by maybe like 10% or something like that. As you can see, everything is looking a little bit dull and boring right now, so we're gonna spice it up and add something to make the whole scene pop out and come alive. And I think it starts with the water here, so you want to drag the green screen water here right below the bridge and the lake house above the background. First thing you want to do is to go to cutout, chroma key, cut out the green screen. I'm probably gonna chop it somewhere around here. Now if you play it, you can see the water is moving a little bit too fast, but it's a lake, so the water shouldn't be moving that fast, right? So now I'm gonna go to speed, and then I'm just gonna put it down to like 0.5. And now this step is kind of important. Under the speed tab here, you want to check on smooth slow mode, and then optical flow. If you don't check this one, the water is going to become really laggy, and I don't know why. That just Capcut. It's looking pretty good right now. We're going to go to adjustment, and we're going to try and match the watercolor to the color of the lake here. Play around with the temperature, the saturation. Something like this is pretty good. I'm going to increase the size a little bit too, so it's going to cover the entire lake. And the last step you want to do is to go to opacity and just put it down to like a 20%. So now you can't even see the water. You can't even see the green screen here. But if you play it, you can literally see the water moving, and it's really cool. Now we're going to keep on spicing it up. So on top of the green screen water, you're going to add a layer of fog on top of it. So you drag the fog overlay onto your timeline right above the green screen water here. And obviously we're going to turn the mode to screen. As you can see, it's a little bit too much right now. So we're gonna go to mask, and then we're gonna go to circle. We're just gonna mask it out a little bit like this, and then we're gonna turn the feather all the way up to somewhere like 70. Yeah, it's a little bit subtle and you can still see it though. Moving on, we're gonna do the man walking animation. We want to drag the green screen here on top of every layer. Probably gonna cut somewhere around here. And first thing you want to do is to cut out the green screen. Put the strength all the way up to 100. And I'm probably gonna decrease the scale by a little bit, like this. And yeah, it's walking a little bit too fast, so I want to go to speed and just, make him walk slower basically. And don't forget to check smooth slow mode and then optical flow. We're just gonna position it now. I think this looks pretty cool. Now we're gonna go to adjustment and we're gonna play around with the colors because it doesn't really fit the background here. Just want to make it more fitting to the background. I'm gonna put down the saturation and then temperature by a little bit. And I'm also gonna put down the brightness, maybe increase the contrast a little bit. I'm just playing around with it. I'm just trying to change it to something that looks good with the background and it doesn't stand out, you know what I mean? I want to apply an effect called sunset. Probably this one here. Put it down a little bit. To make the man walking animation more realistic, we're probably going to add a shadow right beside him. So you want to copy and paste the layer. And this is going to be our shadow layer. We're going to go to the adjustment tab, go to curves, and then just drag everything down. Go back to video, and we're going to rotate it by 120 degrees. And now you're going to position it somewhere like this. Put down the opacity to 52%. And if you play the video now, you can see the shadow is literally walking away from the man. So we have to do a little bit of keyframing here on the position. Make a keyframe on the position and then you just go like 5 or 6 frames and then you move the position. So that's the shadow is walking away here. You want to just drag it back to the person.
6 hours later.
I think something like this is pretty good. We're also gonna add another layer of fog on top of everything, all the layers. So copy and paste it on top of everything here. And for this one, you probably want to put down the opacity so it's a little bit more subtle. And the last asset that we're gonna add is the birds flying. I'm gonna cut it here. We want to put the layer on top of the lake house, and I want to position it on the right side. So the first thing I want to do, I want to flip it, go to edit and then mirror. And I'm just gonna put it to the right side and position it. And yeah, I think this looks great. We're gonna start animating and creating the 3D parallax effect, which is simply just increasing the scale for all of the assets here and maybe changing the position a little bit too. So you're gonna start with background and you want to make a keyframe on the scale and the position in the beginning and then go all the way to the end. And for the scale, I'm probably gonna put it up to 120 and I'm gonna change the Y position a little bit. So now you can see the background is moving and we don't gotta do anything for the water here. So we'll go straight to the fog. Same thing, the position and the scale, and then go all the way to the back here. I'm gonna put it to 120, same thing, and it's -50. We're gonna do the dock here. It's basically the same thing over and over again, but with this one I'm gonna put it up to 125 because the dock is closer to the camera, so you want it to like move a little bit more. Same thing, -50. We're gonna do the lake house too here, and then we're gonna put this one to 130 to -50 for Y position too. For the birds, we're just gonna change the scale to 110, make it a little bit bigger, and we're gonna do the person now. Yeah, we're just gonna do the scale. We're not gonna do the position for this one too. I'm gonna put it up to 103%, so 20% increase. Same thing for the shadow here. Go to the end frame, 103. I'm gonna do the fog too, make it 120, and then I'm gonna -50, so 58 for this. And this is what we have now. Lastly, we're gonna add some effects to sauce up the whole scene. But as you can see here, we've literally created a 3D effect. Looks like the camera is zooming in, and yeah, everything is looking realistic and dynamic. For the effects, the first one we're gonna use is called vignette, and I'm gonna put it all the way down to like 40. I'm gonna add a little hazy effect on top of it. Put it blur it down to like 5 or 6, just a little bit. Now you want to go to the filters tab, and we're gonna use the warm filter here. Want to play around with it, do something that looks nice. I think the 70 is pretty good. What this does is it gives a little bit more of the summer sunset vibes that I'm trying to go for with this scene. And this is the final result. It might be a little bit laggy because there's a lot of animations and layers going on here. But if you export a whole sequence, I promise you it's gonna look awesome. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop me a sub and give me a like. And let me know in the comment section what kind of videos or tutorials you want me to do next. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.